heat and light. Life, Earth is merely a lifeless ball of ice-coated rock. It not only warms our oceans, stirs our atmosphere, generates climate patterns, but also provide energies to the fast-growing plants that gives us food and oxygen so that the life can pertain on this earth. Let's celebrate the star of ours. Let's celebrate the sun.
Namaskar, very good morning. The sun has been such a wonderful life giving force to all the resources across the world. That is the importance that the sun has. Without the sun, there would be no resources and perhaps no economy. It is that important life giving force.
Events like this and collaborations such as these definitely keeps the curiosity ignited and aflame. It also brings to light scientific facts as well as a belief in scientific values and principles and learning from each other. Shiv Nadar University student may also learn from a school student. So the reciprocal learning which happens, I think there's no substitute for that. So this whole collaborative effort, this platform which is there, is a win-win situation.
The sun, a ball of fire, the central star of the solar system, the handsome Greek sun god, and of course the Hindu god Surya, is how a physicist or the ancient Greek philosophers and the Indian philosophers would define it. But as a language teacher, I would like to personify the sun as an individual, a selfless individual who gives for the well-being of everyone without expecting anything in return.
All of us know about Karna, the son of Surya. He every day offered prayers to the sun and was known for his magnanimous and benevolent nature towards the poor. Following him, it is said that Yudhishthira, when he became the emperor, celebrated the Chhat Puja, the festival of the sun, and that was taken up by the mass and continues to be celebrated in large parts of India.
So I came across this book called Surya Siddhant. It's the ancient Hindu book of astronomy, and there are hundreds of astronomical observations in that book, which seem to suggest that this book was written almost 15,000 years ago, so far back. In fact, it has been vetted by a famous scientist. He's even delivered a talk about Surya Siddhant at Oxford. So one thing is that it's written 15,000 years back. The second part is that it has very precise calculations of diameters and orbital periods of all the planets, which match the modern calculations. Also, other calculations like speed of light, even Kepler's laws, and also some fairly advanced mathematics, including infinite series and a lot of trigonometry and so forth. So it was very interesting to see how much the mathematics and sciences and astronomy was developed in India even 15,000 years back. And so I would recommend everybody to look at that book if you're interested in astronomy and astronomy's basis in India.
I'm standing in front of ITER, ITER, the International Thermonuclear Energy Reactor site in France. So this in the background you can see is the first and the largest fusion reactor under construction, and this will be one of the facility in the world which will be demonstrating the electricity production for the future fusion power plants. This is one of the unique facility where 35 nations are collaborating all together to learn and understand how fusion will be generating electricity, low carbon electricity for our future generations, and it will be one of the biggest and long-term solution in fighting climate change. So welcome to ITER. And I would like to mention that during the upcoming EBC Educational Bootcamp we are organizing, you will be visiting it virtually from inside and outside and everything about it. Like all other big stellar objects, sun is also one of the mysterious objects, even if it is the closest one to us. And in terms of practical solution, if you want to understand, one major challenge is this, that we still don't know how the magnetic field associated with the sun or it is not, and how it is being generated. We all know that its gravitational pull is basically maintaining our solar system and all the bodies around, but the magnetic field is still one of the biggest mystery.
Can we
More
start now?
important to us.
Can we stop the video and start now? Thank you.
There's nothing like sunshine to make the world a brighter, better place. The sun is undisputedly the source of life energy, but there are voluminous, intriguing, and mysterious aspects of this celestial entity, some fact and other fiction.
A very good evening to one and all. We would like to express our gratitude to all the students, teachers, and scientists who have joined us today in a technical paper writing session, a part of EBC 2021. I am Sanjana Khosla,
And I am Shloka Pandey.
students of Shiv Nadar School, Noida, and your hosts for the day.
With an objective to foster a wider understanding and deeper insight into our sun, we would like to welcome you to the Educational Boot Camp 2021, a collaborative effort of Shiv Nadar School and the Indian Youth Nuclear Society. It is also important to mention the Shiv Nadar University and the Vidyagyan schools who are our hosting partners for today. We welcome the educators and students from esteemed institutions. DAV Ambuja Vidya Niketan, Podar International School, Bal Bharti Public School, Sanskriti School New Delhi, Podar International School IB, DPS Faridabad, and the Genesis Global School.
Let us celebrate the sun, a month-long, fun-filled, cross-disciplinary event designed to raise awareness of science and art. The event is dedicated to Dr. N. Ratnashri, a philosopher.
There is a minus sign preceding it.
So this event is dedicated to Dr. N. Ratnashri, a philosopher, astronomy stalwart, dynamic science communicator, great mentor, and former director of the Nehru Planetarium in Delhi, who originally conceived the event. This month-long celebration of the sun includes inter-school competitions designed to cultivate problem-solving and scientific writing skills, besides involving interdisciplinary learning and problem-based research paper writing challenges.
These individual events include poster making, poem writing, slogans and taglines, painting and creative art, doodles, memes and cartoons, and comic strips. In addition to these, a research-based project is there for grades 6 to 12, and the project to inculcate out-of-the-box thinking, Project X, is also in store for the students of 9th to 12th grades and the Shiv Nadar School University.
During the culmination of the event from 16 to 18 December, scientists from ITER France, Saint Michel Observatory, and educators from around the globe will mentor and interact with the students. A virtual visit to the world's largest fusion reactor of ITER is also planned. I personally am eagerly looking forward to this one. And last but not the least, we will have the Knowledge Podcast, where students will join eminent scientists, experts, and panelists from various fields to discuss the current understanding of the sun and the challenges ahead. So the winning team of EBC 21 will be awarded with the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Fellowship, a prestigious fellowship from IYNS.
Let us now view the various aspects of the sun through a short video prepared by a Shiv Nadar School student, Kabir Gupta.
Since ancient times, the sun has been worshipped in different cultures, be it Apollo in Greek mythology, or Ra for the Egyptians, or even Surya from Hinduism. One of the verses from the Rig Veda loosely translates to golden ornament of the sky, seeing widely, shining as he moves forward towards his distant goal, rises up. Now the people, set into motion by the sun, pursue their goals and do their jobs. Like a falcon, he goes along, soaring up into the place where the immortals made space for him.
The sun is the source of energy of all food chains. The circadian rhythm, a natural internal process that regulates the sleep-wake cycle and repeats roughly every 24 hours, is observed in plants, animals, fungi, and bacteria alike.
The sun has a great impact on the socio-economic life of people. The sun plays a vital role in human settlements and farming activities. It also influences the various weather, climatic, and seasonal changes that we experience on the planet.
In popular science fiction, the Kryptonians too get energized when the sun comes out. The radiation given off by Krypton's red sun was too weak for Kryptonians to process. Superman landed on Earth and aimed with the light of a younger star, being able to take the radiation from the yellow sun and metabolize it.
The sun, as seen by scientists, is a fireball of nuclear fusion reactions, followed by radiation, wavelength, and frequency. Most parts of it still remain a mystery to them that they try to unravel. So, put on your curiosity hats and get on with us on this beautiful adventure of unpacking all that makes up this ball of hot plasma, the sun.
I am in awe of the sun now. While I merely glanced at it earlier, I will now begin observing it a lot more closely. It is with great excitement that we begin our very first interactive session in the Educational Bootcamp 2021.
Today's session will highlight how to write a technical paper. The primary purpose is to help budding scientists improve their scientific writing skills and to share their knowledge with the world. Under the mentorship and guidance of Dr. Nitendra Singh, you will synthesize and organize your research and learnings into a research paper.
Before that, I would like to invite Mr. Matthew Ivilish, Head of Connected Learning at Shiv Nadar School, to address the audience and open today's session.
Good evening, everyone. Hopefully I'm audible and can be seen, because technical difficulties sometimes arise. But isn't it great that we're here together? Isn't it great that we've got Dr. Singh, experts in this field? Is it great we've got Miss Vanita and her team? And of course, not least, the students, not just hosting it, but participating in what is a truly connected learning experience. Again, I always say the same things in these examples. We're not learning out of a textbook. We're not in a classroom. We're not even in normal school hours. We're following our passions. We're following what interests us and what it may affect in our own future pathways. The sun, which is a great topic, deals with so many issues, whether it be it solar energy, climate change, what we can do for the world today, what we can do for our own country in India. So I'm excited again to see learning on this platform. I'm excited and again welcoming all our experts. And again, it's with great pleasure that I thank Ms. Vanita and her team and the student body for participating in what is a truly connected learning experience, as I said. So enjoy, learn and explore and, follow your passions, your curiosity, be creative, help us build not just your own mind, your attitudes, but a better world altogether. So well done to all of you. Have a great evening. Thank you, Ms. Vanita and the student team.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's quickly set some ground rules. You may raise your virtual hand to speak. Share your doubts in the chat box. Keep the microphone muted if you do not want to speak. And to make your presence felt, turn on the video. Participants are now requested to rename themselves with their names underscore the names of their school or the university they represent. We are holding the floor now so that you will have 30 seconds to do so.
Thank you, everyone. Now, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Nitendra Singh, our expert for today, founder and president of the Indian Youth Nuclear Society Dr. Natendra is also a nuclear safety engineer at ITER
ऐका ना,
organization.
काय म्हणते ते ऐक.
Can we request everyone to mute other than speaker? Please go ahead, Sanjana.
Thank you. His research interests include nuclear safety and design, reactor thermal hydraulics, and nuclear severe accidents. Further, he is a gifted speaker on topics such as nuclear for climate, advanced technologies, and public outreach. Beyond his professional interests, he's passionate about traveling, photography, hiking, and cooking. Please accept our warmest welcome, sir.
Thank you, Sanjana and Sloka, for this kind introduction. So, shall I begin? I'll share my screen and...
Yeah, yes, Dr. Natendra.
Just let me know when my screen is visible to you. Huh?
It's visible.
Great. So, firstly, a very warm welcome to all of you. And as Matthew and all the students has already mentioned, that education is not within the schools, it's all around us. And with the education bootcamp, that's what we wanted to tell, like whatever we see every day, are we really observing it? So that's how this idea came into the picture. And yes, this event is dedicated to Dr. Ratnashri, and yesterday was her birthday as well. And she passed away in May due to COVID. So it's my dedication to her in a way. Let's begin. So today we are going to see how we actually write a technical article. And when I mention about technical article, that never means the technical only, because this is one of the biggest misconception in everyone's mind. Like scientific writing or technical writing is mainly for scientists, or who are studying science, or who are pursuing science or technology or engineering. But it's a myth, frankly. And how and why, that will do. So my idea of today's session is I, which stands for interests, ideas, and innovations. And how this follows together, we'll see it now. So yes, I am Nitendra Singh, and I'm here because I love to give presentations. So you can ask me why I really love to give presentation. What is so important about the presentations, or what is that what I really enjoy while presenting whatever I'm presenting.
Sorry
So
to
this is
interrupt,
all
sir.
the story.
Your shared
Yes,
screen
please.
is just showing the presentation, but not the slideshow mode. Slideshow mode. I would request you to kindly reshare the slideshow mode.
Okay, sorry. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Thank you. So as I was saying, why it is really important to give presentations, why it is so interesting to give presentation, whatever topic you choose, or even without the topics. So this comes from this fact, which I really loved when I read it, that true education means fostering the ability to be interested in something. So we all are interested in something. We love doing something or reading something or whatever gives us a pleasure of, feeling happy. So that's where the education comes. And this was a nice quote by Sumio. She's a physicist. And because of this thing, I really enjoy giving presentations. And at IYNS, we follow this philosophy. So all of you might know about the STEM education. Earlier it was science, technology, engineering, maths. Everyone was, following that and preparing themselves to rule the world in their own manner. But after a while, the education, I mean, the philosophy changed to STEAM education, which stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So this is one of the Chinese remark which they mentioned, like what is science, what is technology, why is engineering, what arts, and what mathematics actually stands for. And this is really important. If you ask me, I'll give you an example. If you might have seen, there are very famous bridges. One of maybe Matthew can highlight the bridge from Sydney. It is very famous. Everyone knows the famous bridge from Sydney. But the purpose of bridge remains the same. We have bridges in India as well. There are few which are normal bridges, but it solves the purpose of passing from one into another. But why it is really necessary to, what is so important which makes some bridges very famous and very attractive but not other? And that's where this A plays the role. The art, the aesthetics which comes into design and engineering to take care of, to elevate the normal purpose to something beautiful, and you appreciate it. And why it is really important, why this example is important, why you may say, like, what is so necessary adding art to a bridge? This is meaningless. But I would say, when you bring art into technology or engineering, it gives you confidence, because when you see something and you appreciate it, you feel confident about it. And that's why, if you say, like, other STEM is not possible with A, without A, and A is not possible without STEM. So that's why this came. But eventually, if you follow the timeline, you will find, like, even the STEM is not fulfilling the complete picture, especially if you follow the biggest problem we have these days, the climate change. The climate change is not only happening because of one cause. It is happening because of multiple reasons. We have multiple complexities we have, and all of those complexity has led to the situation what we have today, which is alarming. And when you have any sort of issue or any sort of problem and you don't know what to do about, you have to think out of the box. And when you think out of the box, you basically are doing the innovation. And that's where we are following the philosophy of ISTEAM, the innovation in science, tech, engineering, arts, and maths. And that's where you can basically take a toll on anything you feel like. Because someone said innovation is the key to solve any complex issue and bring the change to make our world a better place to live. So, my idea of taking education and tackling all the issues we have is the innovation. And how do you innovate? So innovation is simple. The process of having or getting anything to innovate is very simple, and this is it. So first thing is the interest. We all have some interest, and somehow we all know what we want to do or what we enjoy doing. Maybe some of you can say, I love playing video games. Some of you may say, I love to play sports, I mean do sports. And some will like doing painting, some will like, I want to do some experiment and in science. Some maybe in the beginning may like I love to cook. Like I started cooking at the age of 8 and 10, so I'm enjoying cooking. So whatever you feel interesting is the beginning of anything new. So first thing first, you identify your interest. It may be one, it may be two, it may be n number of that, whatever you feel comfortable. Identify them, follow it, pursue it deeply in detail. Whatever you do it with your whole heart and get it done. Second thing is, when you do anything deeply, Then you start learning about it, and when you learn about it very deeply, you realize that nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. And when you understand this, nothing is perfect, you want to bring some change, you want to improve it. For example, people, I'll give you two very simple examples. Some people like Xbox for the video games, and some people like PlayStations. If you ask me if I'm not a gamer, I will say for me, Xbox is also the same, PS is also the same. But maybe there will be gamers among you who will say, like, he is such a stupid guy, he don't know anything about this. So there are some flaws with each one of thing. There are some pros with each one of it. So when you know about it, you might want to change it. You may want to improve the graphics card. You may want to increase the RAM about it, or maybe anything different. Okay. For example, if you follow the painting, or you like to paint, and you find there are some colors which are not good, then you would like to bring some changes into that. So when you follow any interest you have deeply, then you understand their limitations, then you understand their effectiveness or efficacy in the process, and then you want to bring some changes. So that's where the beginning of ideas take place, you know. And when you want to improve it or change it, that lead to innovation. And how? Because if you are implementing your idea, it will definitely bring some change into that system, which may be good or bad, but it will be new. You yet don't know it will be good or bad, but the fact is, definitely it will be new. And that's how the process of innovation follows. Now, that's a simple thing, very simple. Now, once you have your idea ready, once you have, maybe this idea can be a hypothetical situation. The idea can be some new product which you have created. This could be a simple a thoughtfulness or a thought which you want to bring to the society, or this could be simply a new method which you want to implement, for example. So any new idea, any new thought, any new product, any new philosophy, any new method, everything is innovation. And when you have innovated something, you would like to share it. Why it is important? Because unless you share this new thing with the society, you cannot basically um, give it back to the society. And then in other, if you are not giving it back to the society, it is not meaningful at all. And when we say it's not meaningful, it's actually not, because education and knowledge is something you share, you give back to the society for the improvement of the society. And that's how we have come here. Today we are able to interact with each other using this new technology, but this wasn't there long back. It got improved when people thought of some limitations. If you take this example, then in the beginning there was exchange of letters exchange, which improved. And people found like it is one way thing, and you know, it takes a lot of time to exchange one particular thought. Then they came up with the telephone lines. It became two-way thing and was quite faster than thing, but you were not able to see each other. Then they came to the video calls and stuff. Okay, you can still see each other, but you cannot share anything. So they came up with new platforms. Now you can see we can not only share, we can do whatever you want to do here. Maybe in future you will find like you will be able to share the things in 3D, because right now we are sharing everything in 2D. So that's how things improve, and that's why sharing is very important. Now, how to share is one of the question. These days it's very simple, I would say. I would say like this new generation is very much privileged with, especially in terms of sharing. You have hell lot of possibilities and opportunities where you can not only share, you can discuss, you can troubleshoot, you can do whatever you want to do with your own idea, and then you can build upon it. So earlier there were So this is one thing I want to highlight here again emphasize. Research or scientific writing or technical writing is not limited to the people who are pursuing science or engineering or maths. It is also for all the people who are associated with arts. How? For example, um, take an example like Surya Siddhant was the mention in the video. Just take the example of Surya Siddhant. Okay. Somehow, if you read the book, you'll find this is a really a nice articulation of scientific facts by that era of people, and people wrote it down in a very beautiful manner. If you read the book, or if you read the text of ancient time, they are not written in a very explicit manner. They are written in the form of shlokas, in the form of poems, in the form of different, like Hanuman Chalisa and all. So they are very implicitly written text. Now, if you analyze those texts, if you do some research into those texts, then you may bring out not only one type of information, you can bring out many new things, and that's also a research. That's also something new. That's also something new understanding which we are getting, and that makes a research, and that is something you would like to share with the society. So earlier these sharing method were very much limited to journals and the books and articles. You used to write on something, or if you don't find, you just put it in the writing, and that's how you do it. But now, right now, the process has changed a lot, and you can do all of that on social media as well. You may write your blogs, you may have your own channel, or anything you feel like. And not only this, you have different forms of media also available. Like you can write simple and digital article, you can write a paper article, or like I enjoy doing presentations, so you can organize the presentation, you can give a video lecture of it, or anything you feel like. So there are not only a limited way of writing, but also there are many possibilities where you can publish your article. Now, how to write? what what is something which makes an article very likable or readable on, and you appreciate about it? So it is, an article is like, it's the right presentation of your thoughts, and it is very important to basically create an article which everyone will understand, which everyone will appreciate and learn. So for me, I find like any research article has four major parts. Very simple, very demarcatedly mentioned. One is the abstract, another is the introduction, third is the methodology and results, and fourth is the conclusions. Simple. Nothing a rocket science. Even rocket science is simple. But this is even simple. Okay. So what does abstract mean in a research article? So research article, if you understand, it's basically you start with the title, you mention your to which organization you belong to, your affiliation. Then it comes to the abstract, then it comes to the introduction, then your methodology and research, or sorry, results, and then conclusion. This is the typical body of any research article. Now, abstract is something which is the summary of your idea. Abstract cannot be of, like I want to write an abstract for 4 pages in an article. Then it's a different thing. Then you are writing an extended abstract of, say, if the article is of say 300, 400 page. Okay, so that's a different thing. Here we are talking about the standard articles. So abstract is basically the summary of your idea, whatever idea you have, whatever hypothesis you have, whatever thought you have, or any philosophy or anything new you have which you want to present to the world, summary of that idea, what this idea is briefly, then what will be the process which you want to follow in this article or in this paper for realizing this idea, and what do you really expect in the end of this paper after doing all of this, what you are expecting. So these mean three things when you write briefly in one paragraph. That's we call as an abstract. Abstract actually gives a reader a vision about your entire article. So when you write an abstract, don't write it like I just want to put something from here from the body and I put it in the abstract. No. Abstract is something which is basically the face of your entire article. So the beautiful it is, the attractive it is, you will stay there to read the article in detail. So it should be precise, it should be brief, but it should be very clear with all the components it has. So abstract is really important. Second part is the introduction. Introduction is basically, it's not like so I am presenting this, so this is the introduction and I am doing this. No, it is not the introduction. Introduction is basically one of the first step to 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 say to the world like why your article or why your idea which is mentioned in the article is really important. It's really important not only for the understanding of the subject which is going or which is in which the article is written, but also for the society directly or indirectly, that doesn't mean, but it is important. Or you want to highlight the importance like this something is missing in this entire process we are living in, this something is missing, and that's why I am proposing this. So introduction is basically the first step, not only to mark your idea, your article, but to mark yourself as well, that why you are doing this, why it is really necessary. And I include the literature review as well as the part of introduction, because why? You cannot say like this is important, why should I listen to you? Who the hell are you to whom I should listen to you? So that's why it is really important to first tell why you should listen to me. And that's where the literature review comes into the picture. You read about what has been done in this field, what has been done in the surrounding field, what is something which is missing in that, and I need to put it, and this is something which is completing the picture. It's like, one part in the missing picture, one part in the puzzle. So if it is missing, then I think this is the same particular part which I want to put to complete the picture. And that's how you establish the base and importance in a technical matter or a logical manner to the article. Like this is why this idea is important, and this is why this article is important. And that's how you complete your introduction. Third part, which is very important. So now if you follow the first two steps, you have already established the problem, okay, the idea that something is missing in the society right now, and you are now proposing, which is this. But now in the third section, you want to say how you came to this and how you think it is very much logically correct. So this is basically the methodology and research. And this gives you the strategy and the processes you have followed in realizing this idea. For example, you had an idea that you want to create one robo. Okay, you created a robo which is doing a good job, everything is okay. But then you realize that when you read and you did your literature review, then you found like there are, tens of such robots are available. Then you was like, no, it's not good. Then you found like there is something. If I want to create a robo which when rains just go on the top of the clouds, and it evaluate all the precipitation and that sort of thing, it is not available. And you think, okay, it is a nice idea, I should pursue it. Then you started your idea to pursue further. You started writing the algorithm that how it should done. You started to design it properly, to test it, to make a simple model. And then you tested like using remote or remotely, or using sensors or what sort of thing. And then you use this simple robot to test on the ground, or different in different conditions, in different situations. And that's how you generated the entire data. So in this third section, you basically write all of this briefly. Like, you created this simple design on the basis of these facts, these algorithms, these formulas, these equations. Then you created a prototype, which was this, and then you did some experimentation, you came up with the data, then you analyzed all those results, and then you found, okay, this machine functions really nice, and we can use in this situations. And that's how your entire picture is understandable. So the idea which you summarized in the beginning, which you introduced in the second part, is seems to taking place with own logic and with own understanding in this section. Okay, once you are done with, so one more thing, in results, it depends you how you put your results. You, in the results there are two sections. One, your data, the final data which is coming, and also your discussion, like how is it good, is it bad. For example, in taking the same robo which went on top, for example, it is possible, but when it goes up, it takes like 30 minutes to reach the cloud. And within these 30 minutes the rain stops. Then even though your product is good, it's working finely, but it is not solving the purpose. You want to share it so that you don't know what to do further, maybe someone else will pick it from there, so that's why you want to share it. There's nothing wrong in it, you can share it, that this is my results and this is my discussion and this is where I have stuck. So it the picture should be completely done here. Then when you conclude your paper, it is the fourth and the most important part of your article. There you basically mention the lessons learned in your entire exercise, including your literature review, your execution, your analysis of your data, everything, whatever you have learned, you summarize it here. And you also show the reader the vision of your implementation, which means like if I made this, for example, this robo, then how helpful it will be for the society, and what are the challenges in implementing it. For example, if you take this robo, it can be helpful in in areas where it's really difficult to map the precipitation, or for the local farmers it will be very nice, like if they know when and where they should expect the precipitation, and accordingly do their planning of crops and things like that. So you can tell the importance and vision you feel in implementing those ideas based on the lessons learned during this exercise of creating the article and following the idea. So conclusion becomes a very important part of your article. And I tell you very frankly, not many of you know, but I am also the reviewer at American Nuclear Society, and I review all these articles which I receive to evaluate whether they should be published or not. And the good reader, I tell you, will focus on A and C. Once you read the abstract and you read the conclusion, you get to understand, okay, what is inside this paper. So it is really, really important to have these two, abstract and conclusion, very well written. Because when abstract is the face of your article, conclusion is something which leaves with the reader's mind. So both are very important. So all these four components, if you follow thoroughly, your article will be, amazing, and you yourself will feel like, oh, this is something really nice to read. And what is the purpose of writing all these articles is basically to preserve your idea, because humans are pretty stupid animal. After a while they forget, even if it is yours, you tend to forget it. So it's really nice to document it, so that not only you, anyone else can read it, understand it, and pursue it further. So this is the main summary of how to write a good research article. And I would like to go a bit detail in methodology and results part, like how you really pursue it. Okay, when we talk about how you follow it. So methodology is like when you get your first idea, whatever. Again, I'm emphasizing idea can be anything. It can be a thought, it can be a hypothesis, it can be an imaginary world, if you feel like, or anything you feel like is your thinking, is your idea. You take that idea, you sit down, and you think about it. You want to pursue how interesting it is, how engaging it is for you, and how you want to commit for it, and then you decide to go further. Second step is literature review and references, which means when you get the idea, you thought about it, then you should look for the things which are associated with it. Maybe this idea have been pursued by anyone, or is it really new? If it is new, then what sort of things makes it new? Why none, why nobody ever thought of it? What are all those things? Or associated people may have done something, may reach here but not completely here. So you tend to read about it or associated things about it, so that it will not only give you the big picture, it will also give you the resources and the references which you may need further in the discussion, or maybe in the analysis of your results of that time. So this is the second step. Now you have your idea. Yes, this is literature review will also tell you like what are the things which are done in this direction and what are the things which are not done in this direction. So even if you had a big idea earlier, if you want to fine tune it with the problems you have identified in the literature review, that can be done in step 3. So this gives you that picture as well. So step 1 and 2 give you, okay, this was your idea, these are the problems you have, these are the areas which are not understood yet or not have been worked out. All of this you identify and list down at these steps. Okay, this, these are the issues, these are the problems, these are the situation which has not been taken care of. You list it down. Now it's up to you. If you want, you can take all of them together and solve them, or you can decide, okay, I want to take this which seems okay and logically um, better to me to pursue or interesting to for me to pursue. You take one or two, you take more, and then you take those idea for the next step, which is the solving those ideas. Now if take an example, for example, um, all of you might know the ISS, International Space Station. So the idea might have come in the beginning, like, okay, we can make a space station because we already know we are already sending rockets and spacecraft and things like that. Then they might have done the literature review. They found no, it doesn't exist. We can do that, but they identify how to send it together, which is not possible. You cannot send entire space station just like that. There are possibility, if you take it like that, then because of the drag and because of the forces which will be imparting on this design will destroy it. So then there's a issue. Then with this, they might have thought, okay, take the entire ISS design and let's think about it. Or they might have thought, okay, let's break it down. First, take one module, design it, think about it, send it there, and then eventually one by one we'll keep on sending and assembling it there and understand what are the problems in assembly. So that's how you basically pursue the idea into the final picture. So that's where step 4 comes. You already have identified your problem. Now you try to find the solution and what are the resources you need to perform that solution. And once you are done with that, you get your data, and then you see, if it is a theoretical thing, you see how well it is doing with the experiments. If it is experimentally done, then you try to see how well it is in concurrent with your with the equations and or scientific phenomena to understand, okay, they are in concurrence. And once all of this is done, then you basically discuss your results, because it was this the raw idea, and then it took a long way, and then you decide whether it's good, it's bad, and how it is performing. You need something to improve, you or you feel like this is the perfect, and things like that. All sort of discussion you do here, and that's how give you the entire methodology picture in the sections 3. Okay, so that's all for now. As Dr. O said, good writing is supposed to evoke sensation in reader, and not the fact. Like, as I give you an example, it's raining, but the feeling of being rained upon. That's the importance of writing a good article. It should not tell you like this is my idea. No. But when you are telling it, or when the reader is reading your article on that idea, he should feel like, wow, it's an amazing idea. So that's where the main thoughts and main ideas of sharing comes, and a good article comes out in that manner. So thank you so much, and I'll be ready to take any questions or many questions. Or if you will not have any question, then I will ask you the questions. So thank you so much.
If there is any question from any audience, you can switch on your video and then ask. Thank you.
Pritish Bhatia, you've raised your hand. You can unmute yourself and share.
Ma'am, my question was that what are the topics for this paper writing?
I think probably he's asking Nitendra the project which kids have to do in Let Us Celebrate Sun. So last time, if you remember, we had given topics.
This time as well, we have given topics, and I think all the topics are available on the website. I would highlight one thing here, like topics are not only based on science. So topics are philosophical as well. They belongs to humanities as well. It belongs to the scientific field as well. But the main aspect is that all these projects should be new to it. It's not like you go to Wikipedia and copy something and put it here. Okay, the main idea is whatever topic you choose, you follow it thoroughly, think about it, discuss with your mentors, and then put all your thoughts in a good article manner. So that's the idea. But for the details of the topic, I think they are available on the website.
Nitendra, if you permit, can I share the website so that students
Yes,
can
please.
see?
Yes. Sure.
Even if you go on this website, either directly to IYNS or through Carios, you will see all detail over here. There's Ruhina, who is also asking questions. We'll come back to you, Bacha. So just go to this, and all details are given. Project X is Nitendra sir will speak this is something very interesting, and but in general, the topics of this particular is already given. If you go here, you can download instruction, you can download project list. Can you see, kids? So here you will have the all the topics of projects. So you just have to click on this and you can get all project. You will decide, you will choose which project you will take it further. Okay, over to you, Ruhina. Ruhina is asking some questions sir, now.
Yes, sir. So you have been talking about the interests, ideas, and innovations. Now, how can I relate this with the research article format?
Yeah, this is the first thing I said. Like, if you have interest in pursuing, so I'll connect right directly to the question, the previous question. He was asking what topic we should write on, or what topic we should choose. That's where the first step comes. It's your interest, whichever you feel like. Like the the projects which we had already, they are in different domains. You can have the biology background, you can have the humanity background, you may have some mathematics background, whatever you feel like. You choose the topic as per your interest, and once you found the topic, once you found your interest, then you read about it, you learn about it, and then you'll find, okay, there is something which is missing, which I would like to add. Or with your understanding, you found like, oh, this seems very different, but I think this can be done in this manner. Then you add, okay, let's improve it. So that's where the idea is coming. And once you have had your interest, you have your idea ready, now you think about, okay, this improvement I want to do. Now you want to, how you want to do, you write it down, and you want to tell the people like why it is important, why this change is really necessary, and if I do all these changes, then why it is really helpful and maybe good for the other students or other children or maybe society. That's where your innovation is, going to be documented, and that's how you are coming up with a good article. So it's all about, if I put it in my way, it's all about feeling. If you have a feeling for a subject or a topic, then you tend to dig in. Once you dig in, you find nothing is perfect. You find, okay, something is missing and I would like to add. And when you add, you come up with something new. And new in a technical matter, you always define as innovation. And when you are coming up with the innovation, you document it. A well documented innovation is basically a good article.
So, if innovation is something new, what would you call an invention?
Can I request you to name your institution, Rohina, and then ask question? Over to you, Rohina.
So, I come from Polar International School, Mumbai. And now my second question to you is, if innovation is something new, what will you call an invention? Something totally out of the
That's
box.
that's that's an amazing question, I would say. And let me tell you, I was there in Mumbai, and this reminds me the story there as well. So I'll come to the story later, but the first part of your question, innovation and invention, in a way, they are two different facade of one coin. I would put it in this manner. Innovation is something, it can be new in any manner, in terms of philosophy, in terms of product, in terms of anything. And when innovation is coming, which means anything new which is coming to solve a problem. And when we say invention, invention is particularly referred to as something we have developed over the time. For example, the bulb, it was invented because out of thousands of experiment done, then you came up with something which was actually working. So that's how you come up with inventions, something new which never existed at all, then you came up with. Innovation is something, it can be existing and you're improving it. And it's not necessary to have just a product ready. Like, it's not necessary to have a bulb ready, for example. It can be a new idea as well, new thought as well, a new philosophy as well. So that's a minor demarcation between innovation and invention. And I'll give you one more thing which will complexify it. Like these days, we are having a challenge in developing one robo, or you can say one artificial system which will take care of plasma, for example, or the radiated materials. But we all know there are new inventions are coming with new robots, new different types of concepts and designs, but nothing is fitting into our requirement. Okay, so inventions are going on every day, but the innovative idea is not still coming. So the innovation is something when it solves the purpose, then you completely say, okay, this is the picture which is completed. Inventions you can do even without the purpose, anything new can be coming. So it's a minor demarcation, but the matter of understanding, that's it. And the story I was referring to, when I was in Mumbai at BRC, there was a concept in metal molten material cooling, that if you pour the water from top, it will take time, but if you pour the water into the milk from the bottom, it will be cooled early. But this was just a science. It was just the knowledge we already having. But when you want to do it, now you can understand, if your melt is coming like this, how you can pour the water from the bottom. Now that's where inventions came into the picture. The idea was already there, science was already there. You did some engineering, you were able to do that, and you were able to cool the melt in much faster rate than any other method in the world. Now you solve the problem. And when you use this system in your safety mechanism, in the reactor accident scenario, in severe accident situation, then you gave a big picture. Now this is the innovation. So that's how, if I may have answered your question.
Thank you, sir.
Uh, Thank you, Dr. Nathan. There are 2, 3 questions in chat box. May I request Angad and then Adwait, who has written question in chat box, to open your speaker and speak? It's good to interact with scientists, a very passionate scientist who just love to spread science among young minds. Over to you, Angad and then Adwait. There are 2 queries back to back.
Yes, ma'am. So hello, sir. Good evening, sir. I had a question. So in the methodology of the research paper, you mentioned that we have to talk about the algorithms, the ideas behind it. So do we also require are we also required to talk about the experiments which we did to find out the outcome, or that's not required?
Exactly. So as I mentioned, this was a very general presentation of how to write an article, but each article may vary. For example, there will be articles which will be written for discussing the thoughts, discussing the hypothesis, discussing the ideas in detail. And there could be experimental article where you have done some experiments and you want to report it, or you want to document it. So in that case, in your methodology, after you have done your literature review, you have found the problem and now you want to solve it. So in your solution strategy, you mentioned, like, you came up with the idea, okay, I need to test it. So I designed this system, I designed this facility, or I used this system to test it using this experimental facility, and I did these measurements, and that's how I came up with this data of measurements, which I am now using to take care of it. So it is definitely necessary to mention the experimental facility and details about it. And why it is also important, as a reviewer, when you review the article, it is also necessary to understand whether, if you have whatever experiment you have done, is it correctly done or you have missed out something. So anyone, as a reviewer, if he find, okay, this is something missing, he may suggest, like, this is thing which you have missed, maybe you improve this, then you can come up with better results or better solution. So that's why it's really nice to mention and the details about your facility as well. Of course, if
Yes,
it
sir.
is something very new you don't want to share, Then there is a different manner of saying it, like you mentioned the key details which are necessary, and you want to keep that particular part for your patent or something. Then you mention like we have done that sort of experiment, and this can be shared in a confidential manner. So there is a different way of sharing it, but this is a normal, you should.
Okay. And sir, what if our idea is theoretical and not experimental? Like if we have not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if idea is theoretical, then you, so in any case, when you write an article, you need to give a support. So if the idea is theoretical, then you read about it, what has been done in the past, and based on like this is the thing which you found, and now you think, no, this is different, but my thoughts are different, and this is my idea, which states like this. Then you, during the discussion section, you mention like, earlier this was this, now this is my proposal, and I think this is better because of this, and give your own logic accordingly. And that's how you mention. And in your resources, you mention like, why do you think this is better? What is the logic which gave you to, gave you the idea to think in a different manner? So you when the paper is theoretical or the idea is theoretical, you give your logical arguments or scientific arguments based on the review or based on the understanding.
Okay. Oh, thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
I think Advait can go next. That you had a question.
Yeah. Please switch on your video and name your institution and grade.
Okay, so I'm Advait from Podar International School, grade 7. So my question is that I joined a little late. So what do you exactly mean by research?
Oh, this is an important thing. Research is something very simple. Okay, it's like the madness of curiosity, if I define. Okay, anything you don't feel, anything you want to feel, anything you don't understand, and you're like, what the hell it is, then you go into deep, you read about, you try to understand about it, and that's research. Simply, research can be done with any topic or anything you feel like. Okay, even if you like to ride a bicycle, and then you find, okay, which bicycle is good, which is bad. So okay, I'm a lazy guy, I can do, okay, the bicycle which is with 5 gears is okay for me. Okay, this is, I am not curious about it, it's good. You find, no, why it is necessary to have a why only the bicycle with 5 gear is good, why the bicycle with the thin tires or a broad tire, why this is so. You are curious about it, then you want to know about it, then you open your internet, and then you find like there are n number of, there are types of bicycle which you don't even have gave a thought about it. Then you try to find which is better, then you read about it, like why, which one is better and why, and all sort of these thoughts compiled together give you the basis of your decision making based on logical collection. And that's what the research is. So I would say research is nothing but the the madness of curiosity, if I am able to answer your question.
Also, I just want to add here, Advait, I just love your questions. And I know that you are going to be one of the great researchers if you can ask these questions at this age. So may I request you to go on IYN's website and Carrier's website and register for project thing. So any queries which will come while you are researching, you will get a scientist mentor with you. So every group will get one scientist mentor and one teacher. So they will clear your doubt and you will understand what actually research is. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
Right. I think we have Miss Jayati who's raised their hand. Ma'am, would you want to go ahead and share?
Yes, thank you, Dilshin, and thank you, Dr. Nitendra. It is a pleasure, and every point when we listen to you, I think I also learned so much at every point. Now, my question is, as a mentor or as a as a teacher, that if you could tell our students what is the prerequisite for a student to set himself or herself in the path of research, particularly when you spoke about literature review. So in our IB curriculum, our students, they are writing extended essays, which are 4,000 words, and their own research. They're also doing the internal assessments, which is again a research paper, which may be theoretical or experimental, primary data, secondary data, all of that. But the challenge lies in zeroing in on the research question. To zero in on a research question, what is it that the students should do? That is my question. What would you recommend the students to do?
Thank you, ma'am. This is, in fact, a very nice thing, and I like to mention key points. There are a few things. There's no one answer to this, but what I felt, I'll explain and try to express that. So, firstly, is the commitment. Okay, when you say research, the first thing first is the commitment. Why? Because research is not something done. It may take endless time. It may be it may be quick. It may be long. But the first thing first, you need to commit it because it will be challenging. That's for sure. Second thing is like, why do you want to do that? It comes into the picture when, because if it is not interesting to you, then you will never be able to dig in deep. And if you're not able to dig in deep, you'll never be able to find something. Okay. So this is something why you want to do after that. Thirdly, don't expect the outcomes. This is very important. So usually what happens when we commit to a research, we feel like, okay, I'll solve this, this is done, okay, I'll do this, and this will be correctly done, I'll do that. This is the something when we enter to the field, this is the feeling we have. And let me tell you frankly, the output of research are very different and elegant in their own manner. Especially in the field of so research and philosophy are, they go hand in hand. So the outputs are also the same. For example, if you found some result, okay, you did some experiment, for example, or you did a theoretical calculations and you found some numbers, for example, and you also found like they are okay, they can be good, but they are not useful, then you may feel, okay, you failed somewhere, okay, or you did something wrong. But I will put it in a different manner. Research is not done to find out something good or bad. Research is also done to make sure that whatever you have found, whether it's correct or not, somebody else should not waste their time on doing it again. So if it is wrong, then it's good for someone else. Okay, this is the thing should not be done. You should start from here. So there, these few things, your commitment, your interest, which you want to do, and not expecting anything is really important to follow any career in research. These are three prerequisites. But one more thing I would like to add. Sometimes, because especially when we are in schools, we have a mechanism, you choose maths or bio and things like that. We are very nicely bifurcated. In when we pursue life, we are nicely bifurcated to, this is arts, this is BA, this is BSc, engineering is very different, medical is, so we are very nicely bifurcated by the system globally. It's not like in India or somewhere, globally. And when you pursue in your life and you reach to some level, then you get to know, okay, you can do it better if you might have studied bio in class 10th. Okay, so this is something which we miss, and that's why when you're following your career in research, then the fourth important thing which I feel is the open-mindedness. You should respect all the subjects. You should be committed to read all of them. It's not like this. I have done engineering, मेरा हो गया. अभी मैं सिर्फ engineering पढ़ेगा. It's not like that. You should read bio as well, because, for example, I'll give you an example. All these biggest things which are done, you might see around, they have same sort of philosophy. Take an example of Eiffel Tower. Okay, everyone sees it's a nice building. It's one of the most popular building in the world. Thousands of, I mean, not thousands, millions of people visit Eiffel Tower every year. But if you see the design it has, it's exactly inspired by the femur bone we have in our body. And if that femur bone can take care of your illogical weights we have in our day-to-day life, then of course this can take care of that weight of steel as well. So if I say I'm an architect, why should I know about biological systems then? And here I want to finally quote Leonardo da Vinci. I am a big fan of him, and precisely because of this thing, he was the great researcher, great painter, great mathematician, everything great. Why? Because he didn't restricted or limited himself in reading, understanding about everything he saw around. And that's how he became what he was. And that's how, if you really want to become a good researcher, then this is, if you can say it's a prerequisite or it's mandatory, whatever the term you want to. But this is something help. It will definitely help you to broaden your horizon. If I have answered your question, Jayanti ma'am.
Definitely, Dr. Nitendra, thank you so much. And I think our students must have found it so interesting to hear that the Eiffel Tower actually resembles the femur bone, and how femur bone balances our unbalanced body. So that is
And that's
the
why
pleasure to listen to a scientist who is always coming with these new information. I think another thing which all of that you said, if our students can understand, is how much of when you talk of commitment and when you spoke about reading outside the system and integrating all the knowledge, our students should understand that reading is so important. You will have to commit yourself to reading more what is happening around you. Only then the idea dawns upon you. So you cannot just go by a topic and decide on a research question. You have to keep reading to arrive at a research question. If I am, is that okay, Dr. Nitendra, what I said?
Yes,
I hope you
definitely.
agree.
And yes, I agree. But I would like to add one more thing, because I'm
Yes.
a very bad reader, and this is very important to tell students. They'll find me, I'll tell you very frankly that I'm a very bad in reading. I start a book and then I'm never able to finish it. It's a fact. But somehow I finish it in a different manner. So why it is important to read is like to understand the big picture of any topic. But it's not completely necessary to read the particular book only if you are getting bored. Like, I don't like books without pictures, or I don't like books in black and white. If the book is colorful, I'll read. Even though I'm at this level, I would prefer that. I don't even like to read the reports if they are given me without pictures. I want pictures in colors, then only I'll read it. Otherwise, forget about it. Whether it's a safety report or a design report, I don't care. So it should be interesting, and if you find it interesting, it becomes easy to read. Okay, but these days, especially the era which we are living in, it's very easy to get informations from different sources. The important part is to identify the credible sources. For example, I pursue and I love to read and find the solutions for climate change. Okay, but I'm as I mentioned, I'm really lazy to read a book about climate change. I may read one or two to grasp the basics, but every day it's very difficult. Secondly, as you mentioned, the commitments, we all have our different commitments as well. So this is one. So I cannot like completely direct here. Instead of doing that, what I do, I have subscribed to say IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change. I have subscribed to United Nations, what you call the kind of everyday magazine, I mean monthly magazine or that newsletter. I have subscribed to that, and I receive all this documentation every now and then. And whenever I get time, I just read it like that. These are brief, but if you are regularly following it gives you the complete picture. So even if you are missing to read a detailed compilation in the form of book, you can still stay updated. So reading doesn't only mean for me you read the books only. You read the books, of course, they are very nicely concise information center, but of course follow the different innovative way to keep your thoughts updated. So that's what I would say.
Your voice is not heard.
Yeah, I think the video is lagging a little, no problem. Thank you so much, sir. It
So,
was extremely
Dilshin ma'am,
insightful.
sorry to interrupt. What a beautiful, argument between Dr. Jyoti and Dr. Nitendra. I really liked it. And Jyoti ma'am, we are recording it. This whole thing, especially the first 40 minutes of Dr. Nitendra lecture, will be shared with all IB1, IB2, and IGCSE and all 11, 12 kids. So we will share with you. Thank you, Dr. Jyoti, for coming here. And Dilshin ma'am, how much time is left? Because there are two kids who are raising hand.
Yes, ma'am. I'll just quickly ask Siddharth to raise their question. You can unmute yourself and share. Thank you for being so patient and waiting.
Over to you, Siddharth. You tell your institution name and you can ask question.
Hi, I'm Siddharth from Poddar International School, Mumbai. And my question was that people from grade 9th to 12th can do the Project X, right? So what's the difference between the normal project and the Project X?
Excellent question, and that's what the main theme of this EBC is, the observation. So other projects are basically based on the sun, related aspects of sun in different fields. The Project X is like something where you have no boundaries. You can bring out something related to sun or may not be, doesn't matter. But whatever it should be completely new. For example, the other project, if you do, and if you have some precedent about it, that's okay, we'll consider it, because we will then evaluate on the basis of your approach, on the basis of novelty of your thoughts and your execution. That will be the evaluation criteria. But if we talk about Project X, there we want to mainly evaluate on the basis of the novelty of the topic. Whatever you are coming up, the novelty of the idea is very much important. What exactly you are coming up, it's up to you. It should be completely new. Doesn't have any precedent anywhere in the world. So that's what make a Project X very different from the rest of the projects. And we will be choosing one person with the best and the newest idea out of it. So if you are coming up with something new, then you have to be perfect in everything. The idea should be new, the thought should be very well presented, the process should be very well understood and discussed. So the perfection, I would say. And other will be for other projects, there will be a dedicated jury from your field, so they will be evaluating in their own fashion. I think all these things are already mentioned in the evaluation criteria. You can go and read. But Project X, I will be sitting directly to evaluate by myself, because the idea is if we find something really new out of it, we will take care of all these students who are coming up with that idea to take it next level. If they needed the experts from the globe, we'll arrange the experts. If they need the technologists or the industries to pursue it further, we'll arrange for them to take it one step ahead. So that's basically the difference, nothing more. And then it will depend on your passion, how you may I want to add this here, you may do your project in such a manner that it may beat project X as well. So it's not nothing, nobody is like, these are inferior projects or this is a special projects. The only difference is basically the limitations. Here we are limited to the topics which are related to the sun, but project X is not limited to anything. So up to you.
Thanks.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Siddharth.
Um,
And thank you, sir. Is there any other student or any other teacher who would like to ask a question? We don't have any other questions in the chat, I think.
Yeah, before that, may I request everyone to fill up the feedback form? With the link of the feedback form is just there are 3-4 questions in that. Is already shared by Rachna ma'am in the chat box. And over to audience, is there anyone who has any question? Please ask because we are running short of time. Seeing the synergy of Podar International, Nitendra sir, I'm pretty excited, and I can see that they will be rocking the show and they will be taking part in all competition. So let's wait and see. Yeah, I can see many queries coming from Podar International. Over to you, Shloka and Sanjana. Is there any query in chat box? Just go through it. No.
I believe there isn't.
Okay, over to you, Shloka.
Thank you so much, sir, for an enlightening, entertaining, and enriching presentation on the right way to create a research paper. We really appreciate having this mysterious area clarified. We hope that all our participants today will spread the word and encourage others too to attend all the events during the educational boot camp. The link for the feedback form, as shared already, as well as the IYNS websites, is shared in the chat. Please ensure you submit the feedback form as it will be the record of your participation in the session today. To conclude with, I would like to invite Mr. Gulfam Ahmed, the head of Department of Physics in Vidya Gyan School, Bulandshahr, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Am I audible? First, I need to ask this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I would like to start my vote of thanks with this line. Knowledge might be power, but it is much more powerful when it is shared. So Nitin sir, we will definitely share, and our student will share their knowledge also with all these other students, their counterparts. So I would like to thank Dr. Nitendra. Sir, we always enjoy your presentations, and personally, I love Q&A sessions. I would like to thank Matthew sir for sparing time for us. I would like to thank participating schools and educators for making this event a great success. I also would like to thank SNF family, Team IYNS, and Carios for providing unique opportunities for young minds. I always would like to thank uh, all the students who were involved in this event directly and indirectly. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our audience. Without them, such an event would not be possible. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Thank you, one and all. Have a nice day.
This is very important, Gulfam sir. Thank you very much. And what a beautiful line you said at end. Gulfam sir, students and audience is very good in experimental physics. So we will try to keep one experimental session by Gulfam sir also during EBC. Let's see how to design it and how to pitch in. Secondly, this is very important to announce about and to tell about tomorrow's session in 1 minute before the audience leave. Over to you, Dilseen ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So for tomorrow, we would have Dr. Nitendra accompanied by two other personalities and very eminent scientists who will be holding space for you to discuss any questions, any doubts that you have regarding Project X or your project or the other project as well. It would be great if all of you can attend the session tomorrow as well at the same time, and make it very exciting. Bring in your ideas. What are you thinking about, and how do you want to go about it? It will be helpful for you to get guidance from scientists in order to further streamline your thought process. Thank you so much. Looking forward to having all of you again tomorrow.
May I request Nitendra sir, Rachna ma'am, Dilseen ma'am, Sudipto sir, and Gulfam sir to stay back along with Naman. And thank you very much, kids. Thank you very much, Jati ma'am, to share your views. So audience may leave. We will meet tomorrow. The link already has been shared with you people at 6:30.
Thank you all for your
Bye.
attention.
Thank you,
Bye,
ma'am.
Anjali.
Excited.
Bye.
Thank you,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir.
Samyak sir, can we stop